Greetings, this is the Questing GM for RPG A Day 2020, and the word of the day for day 26 is strange. So, we play a very strange hobby. We play a very strange game of people sitting around, describing things that's not really there, and then somehow it all makes sense, and then we roll dice, and then we let the dice do the talking for us, and then we rinse and repeat, and we can play this for hours before we decide to call it a night, and we leave and we come back doing it again. To an outsider, role-playing games is definitely a very, very strange thing. It definitely still is the case, in at least in this part of the world, although D&D slowly becoming the mainstream, and people are hearing about it more and more, and as the age group of players are getting younger and younger. But it was really strange times playing a strange game, back in 20 years ago in this part of the world. And it's still kind of strange to people of similar age to myself than younger players. I guess in that way, that just makes us strange people. We are imagining things that maybe has already left those who are of similar age, and we still keep up with this strange uh, sense of creativity and imagination and fantasy in when we engage ourselves with role-playing games, and we keep on doing this. So it's good to be strange, and I don't mind being strange for for decades, and probably for many more decades to come. But even in the midst of role-playing games, especially for if you're someone who has been playing the same kind of role-playing games for many years, you may start to notice that there is a lot of strangeness in the role-playing hobby itself, within the role-playing hobby in itself. That's kind of the beauty of role-playing games, I feel, is that there's always something that's always beyond your horizon and beyond your comfort levels. And there are people who are willing to create those games. There are people who are willing to play those games, and and you may think they are strange, but they're just doing the same strange thing as you are. If I have to really like point out like a strange RPG that I had in that I've been looking into, or exposed to, I think one of the earliest feels that was not my usual type of fantasy role playing, and not of the other more common genres like sci-fi, cyberpunk, and all that. I think was probably Numenera. Numenera was a very read very strangely. It had a very rather strange setting that was familiar but yet still strange, and so it definitely piqued a lot of interest and curiosity. I think I ran about a game of it, but it's definitely something that I will be spending a lot more time exploring the strangeness. And I think that was kind of the charm of Numenera in itself. It was about a strange blend of sci-fi and fantasy, and it was also a rather strange system, for someone who is too used to D20s, that it utilizes the D20s but in different ways, and it was different, and the whole cipher system was something that was quite strange. That's a strange RPG, and to at least for myself, and but there's definitely a lot more strange RPGs out there, especially within the indie scene, even in strange formats and strange structures that defies the conventional definitions or organization, or layouts of your typical fantasy role-playing game like D&D. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's strange as it may sound. Diversity in the role-playing scene is definitely a boon to the entire hobby, I think, because as long as options out there, there's always one that is suited for you, and there's maybe even the perfect one for you. And as long as you haven't found that perfect game, you can keep on searching, because it's a strange world out there. I don't know if there's anyone really embraces strange with reprehension and hesitation. Going back to my change video, strangeness, and the idea and the feeling of encountering something strange and not knowing what to make out of it, I think is one of those essential things that draws you into making change. And if you know my position about change, that's always a positive thing. So yeah, embrace the strange, the strangeness in yourself, the strangeness that's within the hobby, and maybe once in a while the strangeness in your ideas to make something new and create a new experience, because we can always use a little more strange in this strange hobby that we already play. So I guess that's all I have to say for strange for RPG a day 2020 for day 26, and keep it strange. I'll see you on day 27.